talk about like your experience with that group, the House of Pain, and what was that like?
Well, it was an exciting time. Cypress Hill hadn't come out yet at first, and then Cypress Hill was coming out, but the buzz was a little slow to pick up, and then right as Cypress Hill started to blow up, that's when I got them the deal, because then all of a sudden the labels were like, wait, we can get a white Cypress Hill? Like Tommy Boy just woke the fuck up all of a sudden. Because the crazy thing is Jump Around was on their demo. Just as it came out, better mixed or whatever. But I mean, this, if you couldn't hear that, I mean, like, quit the business, But a lot of labels passed on them too, Like I said, they were scared of people were scared of white rappers. They didn't figure out how to market it or whatever, so. But yeah, so I mean, it was kind of a short-lived experience. I mean, I thought the guys were really talented. I thought the demo was really dope. Ralph M., the Mexican, produced a song on there along with Lethal, DJ Lethal, and Muggs kind of oversaw it, and Muggs is like the mad genius, you know what I mean? So, and I had known Muggs for a long time, and he had slept on our couch, like I said, on the house in Melrose, and gotten a lot of samples from Cypress Hill's first album from my roommate and everything. And I had known him since the 783 days. I was friends with both the brothers, from 783 and Muggs, and so, I mean, it was short-lived, but it was exciting.
Now, DJ Muggs is definitely another DJ, I would say, part of LA's history of hip-hop.
Yeah.
You don't really hear too much about him discussed today. You hear about Dre and a lot of other producers and DJs, but was Muggs a white guy, or was he sort of like Latino mixed? What was his background?
Yeah, Muggs is like Italian. He's mixed of like European descent from New York. So he's one of those white guys from New York that grew up around, I think, Latinos and things like that. And so his heritage was a bit indistinguishable, but...
he definitely wasn't black.
No, but when I got my first apartment, when I got my job at Delicious Vinyl, I moved to these famous hip-hop apartments on Normandy and Sunset, and Muggs and DJ Alladin were roommates in the apartment like 2 doors down from me, and they had no furniture in their living room. They had the turntable setups on either side of the room, and they would battle. And DJ Alladin was like infamous DJ from LA at that time that was winning these big DJ battles and everything like that. And Muggs was, also like, ranked DJ and everything like that. And so, Alladin was a little more famous at that time, you know what I mean? And a bigger deal.
Was he with WC at the time?
Yeah, he had the group Low Profile. That was like his group. DJs were such a big deal back then. They could like have their own group, Right, so Low Profile was WC, and Coolio was like the hype man and rapped a little bit on that album too.
I think it was WC and the Mad Circle. Does that sound familiar? Right,
but before that it was Low Profile.
Yeah.
And that was Aladdin's group with WC and Coolio.
Now that brings me to a question that I'd love to get your view on, because in this period you're talking about, when people toured, everyone had a DJ with them.
Right.
DJs were instrumental. They were pivotal to the existence of the rapper or the group.
Right.
Today, the DJ is just invisible,
If there even is one.
Yeah, most people don't think, most of these rappers don't think I need a DJ.
Yeah, or they just throw up somebody who's a DJ that looks cool and, is maybe pressing buttons or not even really actually doing like super DJ tasks at all.
And I guess the DJ became expendable, especially going on tour, because it's just so much more in the tour process to bring a DJ and the equipment and the records. What do you think happened
records
there?
are unnecessary with Serato now and stuff. I think it was a thing where at first culturally the DJ was really important for a lot of reasons. And then as hip hop got bigger and bigger, rappers became the main attraction, and it's like, why share the limelight? We don't need to. And so, and DJs kind of let themselves in some cases maybe like get taken out of relevance and certain things and stuff. But I mean, I think, the people that care about the culture keep DJs around, and it's great to have a real DJ in the mix because it can save things in shows and stuff. Like they can jump on their feet and do something or whatever. And just a hip hop show with a DJ is always going to be better than one with just like the instrumentals being played by somebody who's not a DJ.
Now you knew Cypress Hill before they were signed.
Yeah.
And what did you see in them that you said we got to get these people a deal?
Well, what I had to do with Cypress Hill and helping them is that I was a journalist writing for the Source magazine at that time, and I had a regional report about what was happening in LA. And I wrote about Cypress Hill when they made their demo tape because I thought it was dope. And like I said, I was friends with Muggs and everything like that too. And the pictures that Mike Miller took, where they're like them standing around this like burning trash can, and they were all grainy, and then their backs were turned, and they had hoodies on. Like nobody was making it was like some Grim Reaper looking shit. It was like their whole like art aesthetic was so ill compared to what people were doing at that time. And they shot those pictures for their demo. So like they had that artwork and everything before they even had the album deal, which is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? So the whole aesthetic that Muggs was putting together that for the project was just something that, and it was promoting cannabis, I was a big cannabis promoter, you know what I mean? And so, it was kind of so hypocritical because all the rappers smoked, but the labels were like, don't talk about it. So there was very few rappers talking about smoking cannabis. But a sure way to not get your song played on the radio is talk about marijuana or cannabis use, right? So it's surprisingly, as it might be to people in the Wiz Khalifa days and all this and stuff, back then it was kind of taboo to talk about marijuana, and Cypress was one of the first groups that did it. So since we were all big smokers, and their music was this dope shit that like fans of true hip hop that were really like East Coast hip hop heads, but loved stuff like an MC like Ice Cube that could really rap. Like it was just that like middle ground of, it was like cooler than what New York was doing at that time, but it was super influenced by New York shit. You know what I mean? But it was like this hybrid of like West Coast and New York shit that had never been heard before. So we just loved it. So I wrote about it in The Source when it was a demo, and Muggs took that and that helped him get a pub deal where he paid for a real demo, and then he got the record deal. So he told me later that I helped him get the deal. So I was friends with them and I was just promoting them in that way, but I wasn't their manager or anything like that.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.